Welcome to another episode of This Old Mustang. Let's take a look at Dave and his 1966 Shelby GT 350. Come on over, Dave. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Mark.
Dave.
I want to thank you for bringing this beauty out. This is if it wasn't for this car, this was the first performance-oriented Mustang. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
We had the 64 and a half, 65, and then did Shelby make a 65 GT 350?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 65 and 66 was the GT 350, and they called Shelby out. They brought Shelby into the picture because they needed to get into the performance market.
Correct.
They had a super popular car, but you had GTOs running around, Oldsmobile 442s, the Camaro was coming onto the scene, the muscle car scene was exploding, and Mustang, in order to remain super relevant, got Carroll Shelby into the mix, and this is what he came up with first, the Shelby GT 350. Golly, where do we start? First, I want to be clear, okay? I don't want to mislead anyone. This is not a numbers matching Shelby GT 350. One would even say it's a tribute car. In other words, what Dave has done is he's taken a classic fastback 66 Mustang and literally home built, home modified, as if he had instructions, and recreated his own Shelby GT 350. And you know, I don't have a problem with clones or tribute cars. I'll speak briefly about something that I've often thought about. If I could get my hands on a 1970 Le Mans, Pontiac Le Mans, and I took off the bumper, and I took off the hood, and I took out the 352 barrel, and I put a Pontiac GTO 404 barrel in it, a whole front clip from a GTO, gutted the interior and put a GTO interior in it, put a 4-speed manual transmission and 373 gears out back, painted the whole thing, made sure all the GTO emblems were right. How would that differ from a GTO off the assembly line? It wouldn't.
It would not.
It would be the transformation of a Le Mans into a GTO, which is, the only difference is there was probably, when you do it at home, there's more painstaking love and care that go into it.
That's correct.
And how long have you owned this car, Dave?
42 years.
42 years. So I'm willing to bet there's a lot of painstaking love and detail in this car. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Ant, let's do a walk around of this beauty. First of all, what is this blue?
Night Mist Blue.
It's
the original
blue.
color to the car.
Of the car, or did they paint Shelby GT 350s in this
Yes,
car?
they did.
So a Shelby GT 350 came with Night Mist Blue.
Yes.
Okay, so the paint is color correct.
Yes.
Now you have the 289 emblem.
Yes.
And that's correct for the Shelby GT 350, right?
No, that would have been just a GT.
That would have said GT?
Well, it would have been a high performance for the GT car. They wouldn't have had the 289 logos.
Okay. Now I noticed that you went with aftermarket rims, which are probably the greatest aftermarket rims any 60s muscle car could have. These are Krager SS Mags.
And they've been on there for like 27 years, so they are the original deal.
And the chrome is held up fabulously. And you'll notice it's got my favorite tire of all time, the BF Goodrich Radial TA. Doesn't get any...
Don't get any more, you know...
That went from this car all the way up to 1979 Trans Am had it.
Yep. Yes,
if I could get them for my car, I would do it. And by the way, I did say if it wasn't for this car, there wouldn't be the S197 or the S550. They're over there. Swing over, Ant. Those cars would not exist if it wasn't for this car. Would you agree with that, Dave?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is first gen.
Now, the stripe down the side is fabulous. Is that perfect? Is that a perfect replica?
Yes, that would have been, yes.
GT 350. Now, these are stock.
Yes.
And, you know, these louvers, back then they really detailed them. I mean, this is metal, and look, it's got a grid in it. That thing looks like it'll last forever.
Yes, and it is functional. It brings air into the car and
it brings air into the crew compartment?
Yep.
No kidding.
Air comes in and it goes right out that way. So gives you,
I left a fingerprint on it, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Let's swing slowly around. Now, Ant, do you remember in one of our videos where we had the yellow jacket and I said, look at the sweep of the S550? Well, look at the sweep of the 66 Fastback. Looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? It almost looks like the same sweep of the S550. Let's go around the back. Now, I've talked about this a lot. Your Mustang, those tri-bar tail lights, regardless of what configuration they're in, is a Mustang mainstay. Is that off of Shelby GT 350?
That is authentic. Yes, I bought that on eBay.
Zoom in on that.
It is authentic.
That's authentic, and that's a gas cap, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
It's funny, Dave. You know, I go on the Facebook forums, and the guys are saying stuff like, "How do I get my fake gas cap cover off?" Because ours have say GT on
yes,
mine says GT. It's not on mine. It's not a fake gas cap cover. It's a big badge. Okay.
It's exactly. It's a badge.
It's and these guys want to paint them black and remove them, and it's like, hey, knucklehead.
That's a heritage.
Knucklehead. Leave it on there. Okay. Now, look at the dual exhausts are coming through the valance panel on the back.
Yes.
And not only that, but back then they really did attention to detail. There's chrome.
Yes.
Around the exhaust pipes.
Yes.
And anyone who knows this old Mustang channel knows I dig chrome. Obviously.
Yes.
Is this Emlyn factory?
Yes.
That's factory correct?
That would have been factory correct too.
Check this out. Zoom in on this, Ant. Deptford High School parking lot, 1982, 81, 82. If I had that on my car, it would say Cherry Hill West parking lot, 1980, 81. Okay, let's get a shot of it, a whole shot of this beauty, Ant, in its glorious blueness.
Yes, that's my favorite color, so it's kind of worked out.
Now, are those traction bars?
Yes, they are.
Are they chrome?
Yes, they are.
Holy smokes! So this car never sees rain, does it?
No.
It looks like we're gonna have to get it out of here soon.
Well, you know what? It's a driver. That's what I made it for. So and that's the good thing about sometimes not having a true GT 350. They're not driven. This car is driven all the time.
It's not a trailer queen.
Not a trailer queen.
It's not a trailer queen.
By no means.
Okay, let's take a look at the front end on this. Again, in the 60s, we got full Ford. I'd like to put that on the front of my...
There you go.
I'd like to get these and put them on the front of my S197. And they also make a chrome grille. It's a fake chrome grill that would go on the front of my S197. I've been hemming and hawing about it. This emblem, hey Ant, this is bigger than the emblem you'll find on Rich's car or my car or T's car. It's got to be bigger. It looks like it's huge. See these? 1, 2, 3, and it's sunken in. That's why I went with the headlights I went with. See how they're sunken in like a real Mustang?
Like a real Mustang.
Now, what's going on here? That sucker's got to be 18 inches.
Yes, that's what a Shelby GT 350 would have had for the year for 66.
Is it functional?
Yes, sir.
So there's an opening in there.
Yes.
And cold air is getting into the engine bay.
Correct.
So
it gives another 10 horsepower.
It's aerated.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, now this is really cool. Come on around this way, Ant. This is the interior. And you'll notice, have a seat in there, Ant, and get a look at that dashboard. Now his dashboard kind of looks like my dashboard, doesn't it? It's got the same angle and the same 2 spots there. And that's why the 05 through 09 is like about as retro as you could hope to get.
Exactly. You know, when they came with the new Mustang, they really did their homework.
Well, mine's not new anymore. That's why the channel's called This Old Mustang. Now, the Shelby GT 350 did not come with this.
No, that's an aftermarket.
And it's great because it gives you storage.
Exactly.
It looks appropriate, and you got cup holders.
Yes.
What's going on here? Oh.
There you go.
You want this? Can I have it?
That's a baby. That's the baby to the big one. That's
Here,
the
go
only
put
one,
this in my car. I'm keeping it.
That's the only one I've ever saw that was the same color
Now,
as
does
mine.
this car have back seats?
Yes.
They're just folded down.
Yes.
Okay.
That what they call a 2+2 at the time. So Shelby's would not have the back seat. It would have been back seat deleted. This has the back seat, so you can flip it
All right.
up, and that too.
Let's get to the good part. Let's see what's underneath the hood in this. We don't have to reach in and pop the hood because back in the day, you
Yep.
just reached under here. I'll let you do the honors. Woo, mama, look at that. Now, I just was watching Scotty Kilmer. This is not original.
No.
This is a fancy,
Aftermarket, yes.
fancy aluminum radiator, and it dissipates heat much better than the original
Correct.
stock one.
This thing runs really super cool.
Yes. Now, additionally, that's not an original alternator,
Nope.
so that's going to perform much better.
Yes, that's a higher voltage.
His chrome not stabilizer bars, they're strut tower bars.
Yes.
Yeah, these are the strut, that's the strut tower bar.
This
But
is what they call a Monte Carlo bar.
okay, that's a Monte Carlo bar.
Mm-hmm.
This is connected to,
Yes, and what that does, it gives you more strength.
can you feel
Yes.
can you feel the rigidity?
Yes,
Okay.
there's hardly any roll in this car whatsoever because of these. These give the rigidity for the extra horsepower I have.
He's got 302 Boss on that. Now, this is not a 289.
Correct. That is what they call a claver, which is kind of like a Boss 302, but without the 4-bolt mains on it. It's a 68 block, and the heads are like a 70, 71.
351 Cleveland heads.
Cleveland heads, yes.
Are
That's
they
what,
ported and polished?
they're polished, not ported.
Okay.
At the time, you don't need to port them.
So they're
have
free breathing heads.
free breathing heads, correct.
All right. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful engine bay. Can we start it up and hear this thing?
Sure.
Oh yeah, here, look at this amp. It's open here, look. So the air's flowing through there and it's coming right down. Here's his air filter. So he's aerated under here. He's got some cool air coming in. That sounds really good, doesn't it, Ant?
Yeah.
Dave, do I hear a little cam in there?
Yeah. 570 lift.
570 lift?
Yep.
Okay.
It should have roughly around 400 horsepower
At the crank.
at the crank.
Now, we looked inside, and we looked inside. I noticed this is no automatic with that little silly stick in there. This is a Hurst 4-speed.
That's a Hurst 4-speed. A
It's
top
the-
loader. Correct.
Hurst 4-speed. That makes it a cut above.
Yes. Yes.
What kind of gears do we have out back?
We got 380 gears in the back.
380.
380. Yes, I checked.
I've never heard of 380 gears.
Yeah, they're 380.
Are they custom?
No, they're not. They're Richmond gears.
With a Richmond 380.
Yeah, 380 gears.
So they're not 373s and they're not 390s. They're 380s.
Yes, yes, sir.
380 is a good torque multiplication, so you should be able to feel that. Now, can he fit in the back and film?
What's that?
If he sits on the back there, can he film over our shoulders?
Absolutely.
May I take this? I'm not going to get on it.
Yep.
I want to get the impression of driving it.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
Let's go, fellas. Diane, we'll be right back. You want to shut that massive hood?
Yep.
It's not every day you get to drive a 66 Mustang. Oops.
That's reverse.
That's reverse. Reverse is down here.
Nope, not on this one.
All right, where's first?
First gear B.
I didn't push the clutch in.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
that would help.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Should be first. Take an emergency brake off.
Oh, yeah. Emergency brake would be a good idea. My emergency brake doesn't work in my S197.
There you go.
So I never have to worry about it.
Hit the key, it'll start right up.
Let's put it. Is that first gear?
Yeah. Right there.
All right, here we go. Too far away. It doesn't go any further. Wow.
That's it. Yeah, they're not.
Woo!
I like the thematic music.
Give it some gas. There you go. Oh, you're on a brake. That's what it is. Yeah, they're close together, by the way.
Okay, here we go. Man, look how long that hood is.
Yeah.
This is manual steering, but I like it.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to the brakes too.
Whoa! Where's
Yeah.
the brakes? There's no
Yeah.
brakes on this car.
There are. You got to really stand on them.
Is this second gear down here?
That would be. Yeah, it'd be second.
All right, let's put it back in first.
Yep.
Is that first?
Yep, that should be first.
Sorry.
That's all right. You ain't
Just
heard
let
it.
the clutch out. I figured I'd better off
Yeah.
spinning wheels than riding the clutch. Man, this takes me back to high school. I had a 67 GTO. This needs its dad to drive it.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well,
Not used to driving it.
back in the day, fellas, you had to really drive it.
Yes. It was hands on.
Okay. Here, get us together over here. Ian. What do you say we do a little, we see the Shelby GT 350 in action, the 302. It's got headers on it?
Yes.
It's got long tube headers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she's set up. Well, let's watch this thing accelerate. And we'll pull out the closest thing that looks like it, which is the S197, the middle car. And we'll take them up and we'll do it real quick. How's that sound, baby?
Absolutely.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Okay, hey everybody. We didn't get all the footage we wanted. We'll get it next week, I promise. This is old Mustang getting ready to sign off. Over there you got this old familiar face with the yellow jacket back here. We got the new guy, Dave, and his lovely wife, Diane, who has the star of the show right here, the Shelby GT 350. Then, of course, we've got the venerable 3-valve, and then we've got T Super Cyclone T. Terrible Terrence Townsend. And look at the physique on this guy. All right, everybody ready? Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Make sure you subscribe. What do I leave out? Huh?
Ring that bell.
Oh wait, no. Comment. Yes, you got to comment. Put all the comments you want in there. I just got my doors blown off by a '66 Shelby GT 350. All right, everybody say, old Mustang. So long.